Damien Hines.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. And it's a great pleasure, as always, to follow the Honourable Gentleman, my good friend, the member for Easington. We've all become accustomed to using the word unprecedented at an unprecedented rate. There has been an unprecedented government response to genuinely unprecedented issues. But in these sectors, as well as the general case that needs to be made for our economy and society, there is a further case. Because in many of these organisations, many of these activities, they haven't just been impacted by coronavirus, they've been expressly forbidden from operating. For others, because of the fixed capacity nature of what they do, they're not able to continue or to remodel the business to operate with social distancing. And as a number of colleagues have said, we recognise too that the value of these activities, these arts, these sports, goes far beyond the economic. They're part of the joy of being alive, part of what makes our civilization and gives us shared experiences. And for many of them, if they go, they are gone forever. These are not sectors, many of them, where some organisations, some may go and may be replaced by others. And I do welcome the government support, including the sector-specific support with ETOW to help out the temporary VAT reductions and, of course, the Culture Recovery Fund. I also want to mention what local councils have been doing. And in my council area, the support given to the likes of Greyshot Concerts, the Phoenix Theatre and Petersfield Rugby Club. But there is more that is needed, and I would commend to ministers the recent DCMS committee report, which I know they've just responded to, but even though they've just responded to it, I must say that does not preclude them from further referring to it for inspiration. In my very brief time, I want to talk particularly about hospitality and tourism, which, as it happens, was my career before coming to this House. And it's important to my constituency because of attractions like the Jane Austen House, Gilbert White's house, the Watercress Line Heritage Railway, as well as being the gateway to the South Downs. It's also important to this country. So it surprises many people to hear that on international figures, travel and tourism last year contributed more to UK GDP than it did to French GDP or to Spanish GDP. And this was the only European country in the top 10 for employment growth in travel and tourism in the 5 years coming up to this crisis, which has now hammered it. And although focus, of course, is rightly on the current crisis, we need to carry on focusing and building for the future, pressing on with the sector deal, focusing on skills and making sure that the T-levels development carries on at pace. I welcome the formation of UK Hospitality as a strong voice for this sector, and now we have to get the destination management and marketing organisations right, and they are going to need a sustainable method of operating and being financed, which will have to should start with central government funding, but will have to move, as I say, to a self-sustaining mechanism thereafter. We are also going to need national level marketing for our inbound tourism to give investors confidence. And I welcome the drive for more hotel rooms, which I hope the government will reaffirm. I welcome the fact there's a focus outside London, but we also need to recognise that London is key to UK tourism. And if it does turn out that office accommodation is in less demand in future, I would love to see it being made as easy as possible to convert to hotel rooms. And finally, I've totally run out of time. If there was 1 year to test out the staggering of school holidays to extend the season, it is 2021. It could be done for a single year on a pilot basis to see if the practical difficulties and the objections can be overcome.